Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly while others struggle no matter how hard they try? Today I'm going to share a secret principle that can shift your life forever. If you listen just once, truly hear it, and act in faith, the doors of abundance will swing wide open. This is not luck, this is not chance. This is the power of faith in action. Just one moment of focused belief can align your life with the blessings waiting to pour into your hands. Are you ready to receive? Many people spend their lives chasing money, thinking that hard work alone will guarantee success. They work tirelessly, often sacrificing their health, their relationships, and even their peace of mind, only to find that wealth remains elusive. But here is the profound truth that transforms everything. Wealth is not merely a product of effort or chance. Wealth begins in the mind and in the spirit. It begins with faith. When I say faith attracts wealth, I am speaking of a principle that is both spiritual and psychological, one that has been observed by those who understand the hidden forces of life. Faith is the magnet that draws opportunities, resources, and breakthroughs toward those who embrace it. Faith is more than wishful thinking. It is not saying, I hope money comes to me. It is a deep, unshakable conviction that your life is aligned with abundance, that the universe, or God if you prefer, has set a path of prosperity specifically for you. When a person believes in this way, they begin to see possibilities that others miss. Doors that seem closed begin to open. Connections that seemed impossible are made. Suddenly the ideas, people, and circumstances that create wealth appear, often in ways that feel miraculous. From a psychological perspective, faith reshapes the way we perceive reality. When we truly believe that wealth is not only possible but promised to those who act in alignment with principles of abundance, our minds become alert to opportunities that others dismiss. Our decisions become clearer, our confidence grows, and our ability to act decisively multiplies. Faith changes behavior, and behavior changes outcomes. Those who are guided by strong, unwavering faith find themselves in the right place at the right time, often in ways that seem coincidental, but are in fact the natural result of a mind and heart tuned to receive. Faith also allows us to persist when challenges arise. Wealth is rarely a straight path. It tests those who pursue it, tempting them to give up or compromise. But a person anchored in faith understands that setbacks are temporary, that obstacles are often setups for a greater opportunity. When faith governs our actions, every difficulty becomes a lesson. Every delay becomes preparation, and every failure becomes a stepping stone toward prosperity. Faith teaches patience, resilience, and discernment, all qualities that attract wealth. Moreover, faith inspires action. Belief without movement accomplishes nothing, yet action taken from a foundation of faith carries exponential power. A person who believes that wealth is attainable is more likely to network courageously, to invest wisely, to innovate boldly, and to serve generously. Every small act becomes a seed that multiplies. The universe, or God's principle of abundance, responds not just to wishful thinking, but to faith in motion. So when we say faith attracts wealth, we are not speaking of magic or luck. We are speaking of alignment of thought, word, and deed with the principle of abundance. When your spirit believes it, your mind sees it, and your hands work toward it, wealth is drawn to you almost inevitably. The moment you truly embrace this, your life begins to shift. Opportunities appear, doors open, and a flow of abundance begins that cannot easily be stopped. Let this sink in. Your wealth is not waiting outside, it is waiting within. Faith is the key that unlocks it. Start today and watch the invisible forces align to bring to you the prosperity that your heart and mind have already accepted as yours. Abundance begins in belief. Believe and it will be yours. Words are far more powerful than most people realize. We live in a world where the tongue is often underestimated, seen merely as a tool for communication, small talk, or expressing fleeting emotions. Yet, the truth is that words are the instruments of creation. They are the invisible seeds we plant in the soil of reality. What we speak shapes not only our mindset, but also the circumstances around us. If you want to attract wealth, you must first understand the creative force that lies in the words you choose to speak. When I say speak it into existence, I am not speaking of idle repetition or empty affirmations. I am speaking of intentional, faith-filled declarations that align your heart, mind, and spirit with the reality you desire. The principle is simple. Your words carry energy, and energy creates momentum. When you declare your financial goals with confidence, clarity, and conviction, you are not merely fantasizing. You are setting the universe into motion. You are telling the unseen forces, this is my reality, and I will not settle for less. This is a principle both spiritual and psychological. Spiritually, it is the law of creation in action. Words are vehicles for faith, and faith is the engine that drives the invisible toward manifestation. Psychologically, speaking your vision solidifies it in your mind. When you verbalize your intention, your subconscious begins to recognize it as a possibility, and your behavior adjusts accordingly. You start to notice opportunities, take risks you previously avoided, and act decisively because your mind has been conditioned to recognize abundance rather than scarcity. Most people fail to achieve their financial dreams because they speak doubt more than possibility. I can't afford this, or I'll never be able to get ahead, are phrases that silently build walls around potential. Every negative word carries weight, and over time, it programs your mind and shapes your life. In contrast, every positive, faith-filled declaration breaks barriers, attracts resources, and opens doors. When you speak abundance, you are planting seeds that, with persistence and belief, will grow into tangible wealth. Speaking it into existence also demands consistency. A single declaration may spark inspiration, but repetition and persistence turn inspiration into reality. Speak daily, speak with conviction, and speak as if it has already happened. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. The universe does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It responds to energy, to faith in motion. The more you align your words with your vision, the more reality bends toward that vision. Moreover, speaking your vision fosters courage. To declare your financial goals aloud is to confront fear, doubt, and uncertainty directly. Each time you speak your vision with faith, you strengthen your resolve and build an unshakable inner authority. This authority attracts collaborators, mentors, and opportunities, people and circumstances that resonate with your confident energy. Wealth does not arrive solely through effort. It is drawn to the person who knows their own value, who commands the future with the authority of belief. So, when you speak wealth into existence, you are engaging in a practice that transforms your internal world and shapes your external reality. Words become your tools, faith becomes your fuel, and action becomes the vehicle through which your spoken vision manifests. The power lies not just in wishing or hoping, but in the deliberate, consistent, faith-driven articulation of your desired reality. Remember this: the moment you speak it, you begin to create it. Speak boldly, speak faithfully, and speak with unwavering conviction. The world listens, and wealth answers to the voice of belief. Declare it, speak it, own it. Your words are the blueprint of your fortune. Many people underestimate the profound law of sowing and reaping. They look at wealth as something to be grabbed or accumulated, failing to recognize that prosperity is fundamentally relational and generative. True abundance is not taken, it is grown. And growth begins with a seed. In life, a seed can take many forms: a small act of giving, an idea, a moment of service, or an investment in someone else's life. Though it may seem insignificant at first, when planted with faith, nurtured with patience, and acted upon consistently, it has the power to multiply far beyond what you can imagine. The principle is simple yet powerful. Whatever you release into the world, whether energy, effort, or resources, returns to you in some form. Wealth, in particular, responds to this law. The universe, or the spiritual principle governing abundance, rewards generosity, vision, and purposeful action. When you plant a seed, you are declaring your belief that life is abundant and that your actions can generate greater returns. It is an act of faith, an acknowledgement that what you give is not lost but transformed into something greater. Consider this from a psychological perspective. When you commit to giving, even a small portion of your time, energy, or resources, you train your mind to focus on growth rather than scarcity. Your actions reinforce the belief that the world is abundant and that your efforts are meaningful. This belief changes behavior. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to invest wisely in your relationships, your skills, and your vision. Each act of sowing sets in motion a chain of events that aligns with your desire for prosperity. Spiritually, planting a seed reflects trust in a higher order. It is an acknowledgement that you are part of a larger system and that generosity activates a flow that returns blessings in unexpected ways. Sometimes the harvest may come immediately, but often it requires patience. Seeds must grow through unseen processes before they bear fruit. Similarly, your acts of faith and generosity may seem small or even unnoticed at first, but they are working in the hidden layers of life to multiply beyond measure. This is why persistence and faith are inseparable from the principle of sowing. Planting a seed also transforms your relationship with fear and scarcity. When you act in faith, giving without immediate expectation, you train yourself to trust abundance rather than cling to limitation. This trust is magnetic. It draws opportunities, people, and resources to you. Wealth does not simply arrive from random chance. It responds to the rhythm of generosity and the courage to plant seeds even when the harvest is not yet visible. The smallest seed, when planted with vision and nurtured with consistent action, can grow into a tree that shelters and sustains generations. Your investments, whether of money, time, or kindness, carry the same potential. The key is not in the size of the seed, but in the faith and persistence behind it. Plant consistently, act deliberately, and trust the unseen process. Over time, the harvest will exceed your expectations, often in ways that seem miraculous. So remember this: wealth is cultivated, not grabbed. It is the result of intentional planting, patient nurturing, and unwavering faith. Every small act of giving or investment is a seed of abundance, capable of multiplying beyond imagination. The moment you embrace this principle, you align yourself with a law far greater than mere effort or luck. Plant a seed today. Nurture it with faith. Watch as life returns to you a harvest you never thought possible. Faith and words are powerful, but without action, they remain dormant. Many people believe that thinking positively or speaking abundance is enough to bring wealth into their lives, yet faith in action is what transforms potential into reality. Acting in obedience is the bridge between the invisible world of belief and the tangible world of results. It is not merely following instructions, it is responding to the guidance of your intuition, your vision, and your understanding of divine principles with courage and consistency. When you act in obedience, you are aligning your life with the flow of abundance. Consider this: a farmer may understand the seasons, the soil, and the seed, but until he tills the land, plants the seed, and waters it, there will be no harvest. Knowledge without action is like a seed unplanted. It contains potential, but no fruit will come forth. Similarly, in life, when you hear the prompting of faith, the nudges toward generosity, or the opportunity to take a step toward your goals, obedience is the key that activates the unseen forces to bring your vision into reality. Obedience requires courage. It is easy to wait for perfect conditions, for complete certainty, or for external validation before acting. But abundance rewards the person willing to move with faith, even when the path is unclear. Each act of obedience, no matter how small, signals to the universe or to the divine principle that governs prosperity that you are serious about your calling and ready to receive. When you take action, doors open that words alone cannot unlock. Opportunities appear where none seem possible. People are drawn to your vision, and circumstances begin to shift in your favor. Psychologically, acting in obedience strengthens your inner authority and builds momentum. Every step taken in alignment with your faith reinforces your belief and sharpens your ability to recognize further opportunities. Hesitation diminishes power, action amplifies it. Obedience is not blind compliance. It is informed, faith-driven movement. You observe, you discern, and then you act decisively, trusting that the steps you take in faith will bear fruit, even if the results are not immediate. Obedience also transforms fear into discipline. When you consistently choose to act in alignment with your vision, fear loses its grip. Fear thrives in inaction, feeding on doubt, hesitation, and delay. Action, even imperfect action, breaks fear's hold and strengthens your resilience. Every step taken in faith is a declaration that you will not be paralyzed by uncertainty, that you are willing to move forward even when the path is not fully revealed. In this way, obedience becomes a magnet for abundance, attracting opportunities, resources, and people who resonate with your energy and purpose. Moreover, obedience multiplies your results exponentially. When you act according to divine or universal principles, small steps often produce outcomes far greater than expected. A single decision to give, to invest, to step forward in courage, or to serve faithfully can set in motion a chain reaction that produces wealth, influence, and fulfillment in ways you could never predict. The harvest is often larger than the seed you planted because obedience aligns your actions with forces far greater than yourself. So remember this: faith without action is incomplete. Words without obedience remain empty. Speaking abundance and believing in prosperity must be accompanied by decisive, consistent, and courageous action. Acting in obedience is the vehicle through which your vision becomes tangible, your promises fulfilled, and your wealth realized. The universe rewards those who do not merely dream, but move faithfully toward their goals. Take the step, follow through, act in obedience, and watch as your faith transforms into undeniable results. Fear and doubt are the silent thieves of wealth and opportunity. They creep into our minds like shadows, whispering lies about our limitations and convincing us that abundance is impossible. Most people fail not because they lack talent, opportunity, or even effort, but because they allow fear and doubt to dominate their thoughts and decisions. To truly attract wealth and live a life of abundance, one must confront these forces directly, not as enemies to be avoided, but as illusions to be dispelled. The moment you release fear and doubt, you open yourself to the flow of possibilities that have always been available, waiting only for your courage to embrace them. Fear, at its core, is the anticipation of loss or failure. It paralyzes the mind, freezes action, and undermines faith. Doubt, on the other hand, questions your worth, your ability, and even the validity of your vision. Together, they form a chain that binds potential, leaving dreams unrealized and opportunities unclaimed. But here is the principle that changes everything. Abundance responds not to hesitation, but to unwavering belief. When you choose to release fear and doubt, you are sending a powerful signal to yourself and to the universe that you are ready to receive. From a psychological perspective, letting go of fear rewires the mind. The brain cannot focus fully on both fear and opportunity at the same time. When you consciously decide to release doubt, your attention shifts from limitations to possibilities. You begin to notice solutions instead of problems, opportunities instead of obstacles. This mental shift is crucial because wealth and success are not purely external. They are shaped as much by perception and mindset as by action. Faith without fear is a fertile ground where abundance can grow. Spiritually, releasing fear and doubt is an act of trust. It is a declaration that you are aligned with a higher principle, whether you call it God, the universe, or the law of abundance. It is a conscious choice to believe that the resources, guidance, and opportunities you need are available to you, even if you cannot yet see them. Faith and fear cannot coexist. One will dominate. Choosing faith is not blind optimism. It is the intelligent alignment of your thoughts, words, and actions with the reality that is waiting to manifest. Releasing fear also empowers action. Hesitation and procrastination are symptoms of doubt. When you confront and let go of these limiting beliefs, you move with decisiveness. Each step becomes infused with courage and clarity. The invisible forces that govern abundance respond to this energy. Opportunities begin to appear where before there were only barriers. Resources are drawn toward you. People are inspired by your confidence and integrity. Fear dissolves, and what remains is the magnetic pull of faith in motion. It is important to remember that releasing fear and doubt is a practice, not a single moment. It requires vigilance, reflection, and continual realignment Every time fear creeps in, you must remind yourself of your vision, speak your truth, and act in accordance with faith. Each act of courage, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you are capable, deserving, and ready. Over time, this practice transforms your inner world, creating a mindset that is naturally attuned to abundance. So let go of fear. Silence doubt. Do not allow shadows of what if and I cannot to dominate your thoughts. Step into the light of belief, trust the process, and move forward with confidence. Wealth, opportunity, and fulfillment are drawn to those who refuse to be paralyzed by uncertainty. Release fear, release doubt, and watch as the doors of abundance swing wide open before you. One of the most remarkable principles of life is that abundance rarely arrives in ways we predict. Wealth, opportunity, and blessings often show up where we least expect them, in forms that defy our plans, logic, or understanding. To truly attract prosperity, it is essential to cultivate a mindset that is not only prepared, but also open to the unexpected. Expecting the unexpected is not a call to wishful thinking. It is a declaration of faith that the universe or God's plan is far greater than our own imagination, and that blessings often come dressed in unfamiliar forms. Life has a mysterious rhythm. The seeds you plant, the words you speak, the actions you take in faith, all of these generate forces that begin to move behind the scenes long before you see tangible results. Often, your harvest arrives through channels you never anticipated. A conversation with a stranger, a sudden insight, a chance opportunity, or a door that opens precisely when you thought all paths were blocked. Those who are rigid, who cling only to what they know or expect, often miss these blessings. Expecting the unexpected is the art of readiness, of maintaining faith while remaining flexible to the many ways abundance can manifest. Psychologically, this principle shifts your perception of life itself. When you anticipate that surprises, positive ones, can occur at any moment, your mind becomes alert to opportunities others overlook. You notice connections, ideas, and solutions that would otherwise go unseen. You begin to recognize patterns of possibility, even in chaos. This mental preparedness is crucial because wealth is not always a straight line. Rarely does success arrive exactly as we imagine. Instead, it arrives as a series of interconnected events, often requiring patience, discernment, and courage to seize. Spiritually, expecting the unexpected is an expression of trust. It is a willingness to surrender the illusion that you must control every outcome, acknowledging instead that a higher intelligence is orchestrating events in your favor. When you adopt this posture, you are no longer limited by fear or doubt. You move through life with confidence, curiosity, and openness. You recognize that even challenges may carry hidden blessings, and that every moment, planned or unplanned, holds potential for growth and abundance. This perspective allows you to remain calm, focused, and proactive rather than reactive in the face of uncertainty. Expecting the unexpected also inspires creativity and action. When you know that opportunities may appear at any moment, you prepare yourself to act decisively. You cultivate skills, build relationships, and maintain a mindset that is adaptable and resilient. By staying ready, you ensure that when a blessing arrives, you can recognize it and harness its potential fully. The universe favors those who are prepared not only through effort, but also through the openness of expectation. Moreover, embracing the unexpected encourages gratitude and humility. When wealth or opportunity arrives in ways you did not anticipate, you are reminded that life is greater than your personal plans, that abundance is a gift, and that miracles often exceed imagination. This gratitude reinforces faith, strengthens relationships, and deepens your ability to continue acting boldly and speaking abundantly, creating a positive feedback loop that attracts even more unexpected blessings. So remember this: abundance often comes in surprising forms at surprising times. Do not limit your vision to what you can see, plan, or control. Keep your heart open, your mind alert, and your spirit ready. When you do, the unexpected becomes your ally, transforming challenges into opportunities and ordinary moments into extraordinary breakthroughs. Expect the unexpected, embrace it with faith, and watch as life unfolds in ways more abundant and miraculous than you ever imagined.